All right. Hey, Ron, how are you?
I'm doing good, Jeff. How are you today?
Doing well. Well, thanks for joining my podcast, Indispensable Appraisers. I appreciate your time today.
I appreciate being asked. I think you're doing a wonderful thing for the industry and just business in general by sharing your wisdom and that of other people. I hope I just have enough good nuggets today to be worthy of being included.
Yeah. And there's a lot of appraisers, and there's few very, very smart appraisers. So you are definitely one of those.
But I appreciate that compliment, Jeff.
Cool. So in the appraisal industry, I always like to start with the positive stuff. I never like the negative stuff right off the bat because it doesn't do any good. So as an industry, what do you think we're winning at? What are we doing pretty good at?
Well, that's a really good question. I don't think we win wide, but I think we win deep. And what I mean by that is, I think as an industry, appraisers have a tremendous amount of integrity. We love what we do. You couldn't do what we do if you didn't love what we do. I think it becomes part of your lifestyle. As an appraiser, you see the real estate industry from all different angles. You get the lending purview, you get the developer purview, cost of construction, rents, expenses, sales. You get the whole broad spectrum of how real estate operates. And if you have a little bit of interest, you can use that to launch other careers in the real estate industry. So I think it's we win by having people who love what they do, being in the industry, because you just couldn't do it otherwise.
Gotcha. Appreciate that. So next question, what are our challenges as an industry?
Boy, we have a lot of challenges, Jeff. One of the things is that we have a small footprint just in general. There's 78,000 total appraisers in the U.S. There's only 16,000 Appraisal Institute members or folks affiliated with the Appraisal Institute, and that's in 50 countries worldwide. So one of the biggest challenges we have is attracting young talent. That's not the first time you heard that, and retaining young talent. So that's always going to be a challenge. We're a small niche industry. I think there's still mostly a lot of independent appraisers who are the predominant appraisers, right? There's some big gorilla animal, big companies that run the show, but the majority of appraisal firms are independent appraisal firms, and it makes it very difficult to offer benefits and things of that nature to attract and retain attract and retain young talent. So we're always going to have that challenge, Jeff. And part of that is we're fee challenged to a certain degree. I did some research coming on there. We do about $9 billion in appraisal fees with the 78,000 appraisers. That's 114,000 per year at a 45% split. That's a $51,000 average income. A lot of people are going to make more than that. Some are going to make less. Some are probably just dabbling and just kind of counting the census as appraisers. But if you come out of college now, you could be a financial analyst and a financial analyst and probably get 50, 60, $70,000 a year. I mean, why do you want to go into an industry where it takes 3 years to figure out which ends up? You have to have someone sponsor you essentially as an apprentice, as a trainee, and a supervisor appraiser. So there's definitely some challenges there. But I think if we work as an industry and share our wisdom, we can mitigate some of those challenges. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for that. Before we jumped on the pod, we started talking about trust and the users of our product. You want to jump into that, double click on that?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think as an industry, and I guess this kind of goes to challenge and what we can do to overcome those challenges. So as an industry, our clients, the users, the bankers trust us. I think they trust us implicitly. They get to know our work. They know who we are. They know us locally. And there's a great amount of trust within the industry of appraisers. The problem becomes there's a huge disconnect in the level of trust with the people that regulate our industry. We've got 400 pages of close to 400 pages of standards of professional practice and various documents and treaties that speak on how we do appraisal work. I mean, I think it's a little much. Basically, we have to do good work. We have to support what we do. We can't lie and cheat about what we do, right? And don't make things up. If we do those things and deliver a good quality product, our clients are going to love us. You know, I don't know quite how to overcome the regulatory issue because the appraisers get blamed, but we don't have a big voice legislatively. You know, 78,000 people in the US that are appraisers. We're a nothing legislatively. I think it was a mistake to break from NAR all those many decades ago, where there's a million voices versus 78,000 voices. But that's, you know, I'm not going to focus on the past. Let's go forward. I think we just have to modernize. We have to rise to the challenge. We have to use products like you deliver to modernize our offices. I think appraisers, the average age of an appraiser is 49. The average age of an MAI is probably in their 60s. And we get intractable, Jeff. We have to adopt, change, adapt, move forward with new industries and new thinking. For somewhere we got trapped in that more is better, and more isn't better unless it's accretive. If you're just doing more to do more and it's not accretive to the appraisal process, cut it out of the appraisal. We try to get very specific in our data, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. You may be doing an appraisal of a mixed-use property. Some people might call that retail. Some people might call that office. If you just search retail, you may miss a great sale right next door, right? So we tend to be very specific in some of the things that we do in creating our templates and our research and whatnot. And I think if we kind of pull back and be more general, we'll cover more. Same thing in our appraisal reports. We need to maybe not be as specific and intractable in our ways that we have been, and be more flexible and adaptive to what our clients really need, which is a good reasoned opinion of why we came up with what we did. You can throw all the data in the world and pretty pictures and buzzwords, but if you don't analyze stuff and tell them why we concluded what we did, you didn't do your client a service. They want to know our opinion. They want to know our opinion. And we need to do a better job of delivering that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Last question. You know, looking forward, how do we fix some of the things you mentioned, right? You talked about, you know, the income challenges, talked about trust. We can even jump into appraisal bias, you know, if you want to talk about trust or lack thereof trust.
Yeah, it's
the adopting and change, not to interrupt you, but the adopting and change is really a big theme of mine. So ready to go.
yeah. So how do we overcome it? And this is going to sound a little trite coming from a guy that's kind of on his way out of the business and, you know, who ran a business and understood the dynamics of generating cash flow. Okay. We're our own worst enemies. We don't value our services. And I'm going to give you an example, and this is going to sound a little arrogant, but I'm pretty proud of what I do. And I feel like I'm pretty good at what I do. And I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I can convey my thoughts pretty clearly, especially in the appraisal world. And I had an assignment, and the attorney goes, "Ron, your fees are higher than mine." I just looked at him and shrugged. I said, "I know more than you in this vehicle. I know more than you. So yeah, I get to charge more than you because my opinion is what counts here, right?" So my point of that story is that we have to value what we do or no one else is going to do. And I think we touched on it. I don't know if it was before our call or during this call, is that the stakeholders don't order the appraisals. We have appraisal management companies ordering the appraisals, third party, the government wants it that way. But because they're not stakeholders, they don't care if there's a match between the skills of the appraiser and the assignment, right? They don't care about the assignment results. And what I mean by that is a good quality appraisal that meets the needs of the assignment, right? Is it a complicated assignment? Is that appraiser qualified? Are they going to pay enough to get the right work done? You know, they're trying to always fit us into these boxes of quick turn, low fee. That is not the equation for great work product, right? I think appraisers do the best they can. Whenever somebody quotes something, Jeff, even if the fee's too low, I think there's so much integrity in our industry that they'll do it and not make money, but they'll do it right. You know, so how do we overcome that challenge? How do we get new people into the industry? We stick to our guns. We suck it up. We charge what is the right fee for the assignment and the right turnaround time to the assignment. If we all did that, they would have to comply, because we talked about the numbers before. Having a small footprint, supply and demand is timeless. It never fails. So if we stuck to our guns, treated ourselves as professionals, we could change this industry and attract people by being able to pay competitive salaries with financial analysts, brokerage, and all the other things, because appraisal is where you learn everything. And maybe people can go on to those other brokerage or development once they become a good appraiser. But what a great place to start, and what a great lifestyle and professional vehicle the appraisal industry has been for me.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Yeah. Amen, brother. That was good. Preaching for
Thanks, man.
preaching. It was good stuff. So, Ron, I appreciate you taking your time today and joining me on the podcast.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate being included.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care.